Denise, welcome to the PCG recording studio.
Well, I'm very happy to be here with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. So today I want to talk all about our new white paper, Lifecycle Marketing for Automotive. It's been officially released. I know we released it at the Modern Retailing Conference and we had our workshop and it was super successful. And now it's available for download on the PCG digital website.
Yes.
So I think it was about a year ago now, I kind of went to you and I said, I think there's an opportunity for us to create a resource for the automotive space that's really never been done before about the car buyer journey and about how it's progressing. So do you want to dive in a little bit into that about how, we got that conversation started and where it all began?
Oh my gosh, I would love to. I think it was great when you came to me because, it's one of those things where at the agency, I think we like to do quality over quantity when it comes to our resources, right? We don't want to just be, pumping out things just to do it. And I think what's really unique about us as an agency is that we take an idea and we mold it for a while and then we, release it in some sort of, tangible item for dealers. We make sure that the testing is done. We make sure that this is something that is relatable. We make sure that it could work, right? And so I think that, the idea that sprung a year ago, now we've had a full year to test all of our theories that we wrote about, make sure that they work before we release it out. And it definitely was the right time. So when I wrote the Automotive Social Media Sales Funnel white paper in 2016.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so successful for the agency, for our, dealerships that we worked with. And, it really just focused solely on social media advertising and nobody had written anything like that at that time. And it was all about utilizing custom audiences to make sure that you were serving messages at the right time to your shoppers. We were truly ahead of our time.
Yeah.
As an agency at that point. And it was really exciting to write it. And then I, would speak about it. And, a lot of my presentations were geared towards that. And we just kept tweaking it along the way for years. And it's funny how the agency has so developed since then that, the departments between search engine optimization, search engine marketing, social media advertising are not so much looked at, pockets anymore or departments. It's all working together collectively. And this white paper truly goes through how all of those situations and then some need to work together for the dealership's success.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was introduced to Lifecycle Marketing in 2023's Modern Retailing Conference. And when I sat in on a workshop about Lifecycle Marketing, just all of the dingers were going off in my head. And I thought, we need to bring this to market as a resource for automotive dealers, but also just for small businesses. Anybody can utilize Lifecycle Marketing.
That's right.
So when we talk about, data personification and customer data platforms and data hygiene and click trails and, all of the digital touch points a car buyer takes before they get to convert with you or purchase with you. We're talking a lot about data right now in the automotive space. And we're talking a lot about different vendors that have different attribution platforms. And it's just like the sexy, shiny object right now, data. But there's no face behind the data. And that's exactly what this resource provides our industry is let's take this to a 10,000 foot view. We know we have the data. We know we can clean the data. We know we can get all of your first party data in one place, but who is the car buyer and how can we personify all of this data to make your digital strategies better in 2025? And exactly to your point, at the agency, our teams work very interconnected. So your SEO is going to work with your SEM, which is going to work with your social media. And it's all going to work together to not just bring you conversions, but to bring you an engaging customer experience for potentially qualified car buyers. And that's something that at the agency, we're both very proud of. So I'm so excited for this resource.
Yeah. And I think that, going back to what you said about personifying your data, years ago, when we were really focused on the branding aspect of social media advertising, we were marketing for these dealerships to a very micro audience. We knew who was on social media at the time, on Facebook, on Instagram. I was considered a younger millennial at the time. And that's who was on these platforms.
Mhm.
And that's what we were talking about. And it was very visual and very enticing. And, now we are at a time where everybody is on social media. Like I'm
Mhm.
talking 10 years ago where you didn't have, grandparents and parents and teens on these platforms. It was, that sweet spot of people that had just possibly graduated college,
Mhm.
because you years ago used to have to have an EDU address to have a Facebook.
Okay.
It wasn't open to everybody.
Oh, okay.
So that's who we were really marketing to at that time.
Mhm.
But now, my goodness, there's parents who have TikTok because their children are on it. This is very robust. And the visuals that we were creating years ago were geared towards one generation, but now we have to think of all of these generations utilizing these platforms. And one of the things that I think we've strayed away from as a industry is really adhering to the audience
Mhm.
as to where they are in the journey.
Mhm.
We have, gotten very analytical, which is fantastic. We have
Right.
gotten very data, focused, which is amazing. But the branding aspect at that, the start of that life cycle is still very important. And I think, what we did really well in the white paper was kind of displaying how those visuals, how those branding, how that video of the products started to relay a feeling in the car shopper,
Right.
which made her go further on her journey to want to purchase a vehicle.
Right. Absolutely. I was looking at one of our clients' click trail reports the other day, and it really shows how many touch points somebody takes before they convert with you. So
Right.
not even buy a car, but
Yeah.
call, text,
Yeah.
chat, fill out a form. I saw 150 person click trail counters. Yep,
I believe
150.
it.
I saw 75, 50. So the average is 26, but that is going to go up and up and up.
Mhm.
And through this white paper, it really showcases all of Maggie's digital touch points
Mhm.
and how there are digital touch points that she didn't even realize she was encountering.
Exactly.
So many of them were organic. It wasn't all paid media. And those are the conversations that we're having with dealers at our agency is that
Mhm.
yes, conversions are important, but the engagement that got them from point A to point B to point C is just as important.
Exactly. Yep. And I think one of the things that I really talked about a lot at our workshop at the Modern Retailing Conference was just the impact of the Google business profile
Yeah.
on Maggie's journey and how many times she went and read reviews because, from me listening to how other people were buying their cars or how we look at products in my household, we really do focus a lot on reading reviews.
Mhm.
And, it's super important. And that's all that organic strategy. So like you said, it's not just from a paid media. It's not just from that last click attribution model that we used to use. Everything needs to be working together. What I love about the white paper is what we did really well too was we made it very unique to like a modern car buyer, which
Mhm.
is what's happening today. So when you start reading the white paper and, it's all about Maggie's story, she simply is filling her Amazon shopping cart
Mhm.
with products that she needs for her third child, which is going to be born in a couple months.
Yeah.
Her car was fine. She was happy. And then that got her thinking, after she started filling her Amazon shopping carts with car seat bases. Because she was doing that, she then started getting served OTT advertising for vehicles.
Mhm.
And then it made her think, well, can I fit the 3 car seats in the back seat like I originally had thought? And it just, it kind of invokes those feelings. And that's how we all are shopping today. We're being served products that we don't even know we wanted.
Right.
And there's a lot of different touch points before we are making any conversions on any products, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that story, which Maggie's story is incredible, exactly to your point, it's a modern car shopper, and it's just one of millions of what a story could look like for a modern car shopper.
Mhm.
We also walk readers through the life cycle marketing phases. So you'll understand, okay, here's part of Maggie's story, and here's how it relates to the awareness phase. Or here's this part of Maggie's story. Here are all the touch points she had in that phase, and this is what that phase looks like, and how you can create strategies at your dealership that emulate that phase.
Mhm.
And it'll go through and go through. So in 2025, you'll feel prepped to not just create digital strategies for lifecycle marketing, but you'll understand where to finally put your marketing dollars in 2025 that will make sense for your dealership that goes beyond the conversion. And that's something that we're really trying to hit home with our dealers at PCG.
100%. And I think what we do really well at an agent I think what we do really well as an agency is our educational aspect.
Yes.
You know, we are very true to the culture of being educators. You know, when Brian started the company, you know, it was very education first about SEO best practices. And I think that we stay true to that. And a white paper like this, a resource like this is meant to educate.
Yes.
It's meant to say, hey, you know, your, advertising can't be, very linear. It needs to be, just very broad as to where you are putting your marketing dollars, not just in an advertising spend, but with your vendors as well, too. What vendors need to come into play here? What can you do in-house as well, which is important. So the white paper is, definitely that educational piece that I think, will really help people through 2025 with their marketing.
Yeah, I completely agree. And our readers can find that at pcgdigital.com under our resources tab, which doesn't just have our white paper, which we're very excited about, but we also have so many other resources, guides to GA4, beginner's guides, what you could be missing for SEO, how to incorporate reels into your meta marketing strategies, what conversational commerce looks like. All of these great things can be found on our website. And again, they're meant to educate so we can have better conversations with our dealers.
That's right. And, thinking about the journey the past couple of years as to where the agency is. I, took the seat as president in 2019, and I thought we were doing cool things back then, but just to see where we are in 2024, gearing into 2025, I'm just in awe of what we are capable and able to do, not just as an agency, but as an industry together. And, I really think that this white paper will hit home. Definitely for a lot of automotive marketers out there, where they'll read it and they'll say, this makes sense. This is what I needed. This is how I want the marketing to look. This is helping me. I needed a guide like this. So I really want to encourage people to definitely download it and read it.
Yeah. The dingers will go off just like the dingers went off for me in 2023. I'm so excited.
Exactly. Yeah. And then thinking about, the agency and, how far we've come in our strategies and growth and everything in that aspect. What I think I'm really proud of is just how, even with us being a remote company, like a lot of people don't realize that we went fully remote in 2020. After COVID hit, we had went home, obviously, and it just made sense for us to stay home because we were, thriving and doing so well in that aspect. From us being a remote agency, we've been able to hire talent all across the country, which has been fantastic. We actually our studio right now is in Eatontown, New Jersey, where our office originally was. So we do come back to our roots.
Back to our roots, exactly.
Every once in a while. But I think I'm very proud of, the communication, the culture, and just how well we all work with each other, not just from, like I said, director to specialist or department to department, but as a whole. I think something that I would love for dealers to know going into 2025 is that when you sign on with PCG Digital, you're involved with the whole brand of PCG companies. You have access to myself, you, Brian Pash, Glenn Pash. We all have our specialties. And as that's needed, as somebody works with us, we are pulled in to have those conversations and those, collaborations with the dealer as needed. And I think that that's something that I really want, dealers to know in 2025 is that when you work with PCG, you're working with the whole company.
And you're getting educated every step of the way. Every single call that we have with a dealer, we're never going to raise a budget without telling you why. We're never going to recommend a strategy shift without telling you why it could benefit your dealership 30, 60, 90 days down the road.
Mhm.
Every single change that we make, every single conversion that we generate, every single audience that we create, we are walking you through why we did it and why it matters. Because the most important thing to us is to have a partnership with our dealers.
That's right.
Our dealers are not clients. Our dealers are partners. And we are simply an extension of your marketing team at the dealership. They know the brand and we know the marketing. And together we just make a fantastic team.
110%. Yep. So I'm really excited for 2025. We had a great year as a company, and it's just going to get, 10 times better for sure. And we truly are looking for that unique partner that wants to be educated, that wants to learn, that wants to take their marketing to a level that they never thought that it could go to, by being with a partner that's not afraid to make advancements or test alongside of you. That's the unique automotive partner that we are looking for. So if you are that person, give us a call.
Yeah. And explore our website, explore our resources, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on all of our social channels. And if you're not convinced from this podcast episode already, you definitely will be from all the great things that we're promoting out in the auto sphere.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for having me at the studio today.
Of course.
It's so great when we can get together in person, even though we talk all the time. And I just, go to pcgdigital.com and just, download the white paper and really explore who we are.
Yeah. See you next time.